All right, so here we are looking at the fan. Around the fan looks pretty good. The gradients keep changing on me, so it can give you some misleading information. Here you're seeing the hotspot identified as 75 degrees. Other stuff in the room, it's looking like it's in the 60s. This is the interior wall. Here next to the attic access we have a 77, so that's actually a little bit of a insulation issue. A lot in this house is just the thermal sealing. Wasn't done up in the attic, that's just spray foam. This is in the closet. You can see a pretty decent hotspot there. That's along the exterior wall where the eave comes down. It's probably a combination of air leakage, but also the soffits don't have baffles for the attic insulation coming down. So when strong winds come up, there's it's pushing that insulation out of the way. So without the baffles in there, it's slowly moving that insulation, and it just becomes non-effective. Over here we have a cat bed. The cat, which is there, was apparently laying in the bed and has the edge warmed up. That's pretty much it for this room. So let's go over to the where the attic access is, which is right outside the door. So if we look at the wall temperature down at the floor, we're looking 63 at the floor, 68, 70 on the wall. I can actually feel the heat from the attic access. It's running, let's get a little closer, 102, 104. So the attic access panel isn't insulated, and that's a major source of heat upstairs. You can see the light right next to it. Let's see if I can get it. So we're looking 75 to 80 degrees on the ceiling right next to it. So that's a major way that we're losing the or getting heat into the room. It is at the ceiling, so it's not going to be as much. One thing with this house is the return air vents are all low on the upstairs. So this is the return air vent itself. You're seeing 66, 68 degrees on the vent. So 66, 68 degrees at the floor, 73 at the thermostat, and 104 degrees at the attic access. So there's a big difference in where you're at as far as height. Let's go to a sectional wall here. This is just wall, and it's saying 72. So that's pretty much what the thermostat is seeing, is 72 degrees. 68 at the floor, which would be considered cold for a lot of people. It's not seeing that air, it's just seeing the warmer air, and it gets hotter and hotter as you go up. This is the ceiling in the bathroom. You're seeing a couple of 80s. Here's 82. This is an interior wall. The other side of this wall is the kitchen. This is getting into, okay, so this is just a space in between rafters. There can't be hardly any insulation here. You can see next to that is the exhaust fan. In the exhaust fan there's a damper that when the fan comes on, that damper opens, and then when the fan goes off, it shuts again. So we're seeing 109 degrees coming in on that. Let's turn the fan on. Down to 102. This fan has seen better days. You can tell by the sound, but you can see it's pretty quickly cooling off as it's getting the cooler air up through there and actually blowing the hot air that's in the line out of the house. So we're down to 99. We were at what, 108, and then you see the cool temperature off in the corner is 73 degrees. So as this runs, it's going to keep pushing cold air out, and it's going to cool this thing off. putting my hand on it, it is warm to the touch. So that's I mean, that damper just needs to either be cleaned out and fixed, or the fan replaced, which is probably the more likely. This is a can light. This is another can light. And in this room, we have one more can light. So these things are notorious for causing hot spots. They poke up through the insulation. In this case, there's not that much insulation around them. And a lot of times they're vented on the top. So not only is it a airflow path, but it's also a low insulation area, and they cause a lot of thermal leakage. So that bathroom is actually fairly cold most of the time as far as the way it feels, but there is all that hot air up at the top. Here we have a baby monitor. Looking around the room, this is the exterior wall. So on this wall, we actually have pretty good insulation. It's the exterior wall again. We have a window, and I have the blinds down. So it pretty much is the same temperature as the rest of the room on the surface of the blinds. I'll show you a sliding glass door later, and that will be a significant difference. So this is an interior wall, and you wouldn't expect your hot spots to be on the interior wall, but that's where they have air leakage up in the attic. At the top of the wall, there's a little gap where the drywall comes up, and anytime you have an outlet or anything like that, like this wall here, I don't know if we can see it on thermal, but there is a light switch. And move up the wall, there's a smoke detector, and then up above where the light switch is, there's that hot spot. Remember, on this one, on the other side of that is the attic access, which is really hot. There's probably not much insulation around the attic access. I've been up there, but I don't remember how they have the insulation blocked off. It's all blown in cellulose insulation. But you can see the temperature difference. A lot of times you'll see that when there's a wire run, or along the exterior edges where the insulation is blown away. So here we have, probably due to the attic access and the insulation there, it's the ceiling of the nursery closet. Here's the exterior wall. So this room looks pretty good. I'm gonna stop this video and start the next one so that we don't have it cut out on us like I have the last several times.